This week, Kumar and Jordan and I finish our look at all the Fantastic Four movies with our review of Fantastic Four First Steps. And we'll give our picks for the best FF adaptation out of the 5, our personal favorite, the one we dislike most, and our favorite version of each of the 4 main characters in these movies. First, as always, I'd like to thank our patrons for helping to keep the show going. You can pitch in by pledging at least $2 a month at patreon.com/deconcomics. This is Tim.
This is Kumar.
This is Jordan.
And this is Deconstructing Comics. Welcome to Deconstructing Comics. This is Tim in Tokyo. Kumar and Jordan are here from Comic Book Movie Oblivion podcast. Hello.
Hello, yay.
Now, this will not be part of their podcast because this movie is disqualified from theirs as it's part of a universe.
That's right. There was a big argument about it.
Call it a heated discussion.
Right. So, Fantastic Four First Steps finally came out. We've been building up to it since last fall. I saw it 3 times. Once in Minneapolis, once in San Francisco, and once in Tokyo.
That's good because I saw it the day before yesterday and it's already gone from memory. So I'll be counting on you to relate the plot to me. What was the release date?
July 24th, I think.
Okay. So me and Jordan went to see it the day before yesterday, and it was on one screen, the smallest screen in our Cineplex, and we were the only 2 people in there. So I don't know if it's just because it's the natural end of its run after 5 weeks, or how it's performing. I saw on Wikipedia today, it claims to be the 10th highest grossing movie of 2025, which sounds low to me, but maybe not, relatively. It seems like it would be higher up for a big tentpole summer Marvel movie, but, what do I know?
Yeah, plus, come on, we were seeing it in the northeastern suburbs of Melbourne at 3:50 in the afternoon on a school day.
Yes. So the kids should have been out of school at 3.
Damn kids, they need to get their priorities right.
Take the bus to the cinema and watch the 3:50 show.
What are they doing? They're doing homework or something. They need to be going and watching Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I looked at some reviews and average viewers posting online had a lot of gushing praise for it. The professional reviewers had a real mixed bag. Some really didn't like it. Some really liked it. iFanboy's review came closest to how I felt, which was, I can't find anything wrong with this movie, and yet somehow it fell short, and I'm not sure why.
The funniest review is by Paul Hauser, who played the Mole Man. And he reviewed it on Letterboxd and gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. And he said, I love the score, the production design, the performances. I wish they hadn't cut my scene with Vanessa Kirby, but I'm stoked that I got to be in a Marvel movie. First world problem shit, I'm spoiled rotten to get to act. Excited to follow the Franklin story. 3.5 stars.
You gave it 3.5 stars.
From one of the stars of the movie.
I thought he had a scene with Vanessa Kirby. I guess there was a longer one.
There might have been
I think there was another one that was supposed to them negotiating. And we kind of missed that part of it. We picked up where they had already negotiated.
Speaking of cuts, I just remembered today watching the trailer, and John Malkovich was in it.
Yeah, he was cut completely.
He wasn't in the film.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the Red Ghost.
The Red Ghost. I cannot believe.
Wow. And they cut it.
Yeah, he got completely cut out. We just saw a couple of super apes, and we didn't see the Red Ghost.
Right. Yeah, okay. That when you said John Malkovich was in it, which I didn't watch the trailer, so I didn't know, but as soon as he said that, my immediate thought was he must have been the Red Ghost. Perfect for the role.
Maybe we'll see it someday.
Yeah.
Special features on the DVD or something.
Yeah.
So thinking about why I felt a little cold about this movie, part of it was I think it suffered from coming out right after Superman. Because I enjoyed Superman so much. It was a real fun movie. And this, I don't know, I think the baby stuff and baby being endangered and everything, it made me uncomfortable, especially the first time I watched it.
Okay, so there's some interesting stuff about the baby because Jordan picked up some stuff about this when we watched the movie, which is he felt like. Well, will you explain what your feeling was about? So I guess we got to explain a bit about the plot, which is that Galactus is threatening Earth. That's the main crux of the movie. But when the Fantastic Four fly up into space to meet him to try to negotiate their way out of him eating the Earth, and he sees pregnant Sue Storm and sees that the baby has the power cosmic and sees that the baby could replace his constant 8 billion years of world eating. And is like, I want that baby so that he can take over my place and I can die in peace. And the Fantastic Four are like, no way, you're not getting our unborn baby.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jordan pointed out something about this, which was, well, go ahead.
No, you go, Kumar, because I'm not 100% sure where you're going with this.
Well, I don't know. You had some issues like moral, like maybe they should have given up the baby or something like that. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're going straight to that.
They didn't debate it enough, the value of the baby's life. They were just like, we're not giving up this baby, and that's the whole thing for the rest of the movie. When you said that to me in the cinema as the credits were rolling, I was like, I don't quite get what you're saying. But then I realized, what if it had been someone else's baby, not the Fantastic Four's baby? Would the family have approached that family and said, hey, can you sacrifice your baby to save the Earth if it was someone else's baby? Or would they have said, no, we're not going to sacrifice a single life to Galactus? That's a discussion that should have been had.
Definitely should have had that discussion. Yeah. That's probably, if we're talking about why doesn't the movie quite work, I suppose because it just doesn't, it tries to do a lot of cool things and doesn't follow through. Like the 60s setting, it should have been really awesome. All of that, those 60s vibes and the 60s TV shows and Mr. Fantastic appearing on Fantastic Science with Mr. Fantastic. This should have been, I should have been thrilled to be looking at an alternative 1960s in another dimension with retro-futuristic science. But instead, they never spent quite enough time on it, and I never felt like I was in that world properly.
Well, I think that's part of, that was another reason I identified for my feeling is that we didn't get a chance to get kind of oriented to the world and the characters. We just went straight into Sue's pregnant, and it felt abrupt.
Well, this is interesting compared to Superman because we've reached a point in the, I guess the word is zeitgeist, of these superhero movies where now they're like, well, we have to skip the origin stories. I think the next 10 superhero movies are not going to have origin stories because suddenly we've had 2 in a row, 2 in the same summer, Superman and Fantastic Four, where we skip. Somehow watching Superman, I really connected with those characters despite the lack of an origin story. I think somehow there's a scene in Superman where Lois goes full reporter on Clark in their apartment and questions him the way a reporter really would about what he's doing morally in terms of interfering with this war or not, or should he be doing what he's doing. Fantastic Four starts the same way. We just start, they're already superheroes. We do get a bit of a backstory in a montage of 5 minutes or whatever. But I never.
Yep.
There was no warmth in my heart when Sue announced she was pregnant in the opening scene. I was never like, yay, a baby's coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why didn't that would have been you've anticipated my next point, Kumar, which was I was going to say like I never feel like I really, even though these are very familiar characters. Obviously, we've just watched 4 movies with them in them. And yet I never really understood. I didn't really know what they wanted or what their characters were like.
I felt a bit distant from them.
Yes. We never really learn about them.
So, for example, Ben does not have that tragic side where he hates being a monster. He's just kind of okay with it. He walks around, he meets this girl who's not Alicia. No. And maybe has some... She's pretty, maybe he has some romantic interest in her, but that's it. There's no, like, I can't date her because I'm this big ugly thing.
Is he romantically interested in I mean, she lives in his old neighborhood, Yancey Street.
Right, but there's nothing there.
There's no chemistry there.
And Johnny Storm, in this version, as they're about to go into space, it's Sue that says to the camera, ladies, he's single, and he's kind of shy and embarrassed about it.
This is a deliberate
that
choice,
and then
because
later on, there's like some maybe one or two lines about how he's a ladies' man, but that's it. We don't really get a sense of this guy being a hothead or a guy who likes fast cars or a guy who likes girls or anything like that.
like, yes, you're completely
And
right.
there's almost no pranking each other. So all that kind of
Yeah,
characters.
the other movies did Johnny better.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and I think part of it is, to jump way ahead. I think Chris Evans was a star. Like he was a young actor, but you could tell that this guy was gonna be a movie star. Like he was something really special in those two movies. And I think as stupid as Reed reaching for toilet paper in those movies is, there's no sense of that in this movie. Like we just get that he's a super smart guy that maybe is thinking about the cold equations, like what if we sacrifice our baby? Sue, I guess, is this is maybe the best version of Sue. It's like the least male gazy, 100%. Like even the New World Corman version had those glamour shots of her, and we don't get that at all in this version.
Oh yeah, she was gorgeous in the Corman one.
Yeah.
No, I think probably Sue's the only character that I felt like I knew anything about.
Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah.
I don't know anything about Ben Grimm. Is he sad? What does he want? He goes back to his old neighborhood and kind of reminisces about cookies and
Yeah, he likes cooking. He likes cooking
you like
and
cookies
food.
and cooking. That's his personality. He likes to cook and eat. Johnny, I don't know a thing about. Apparently this version of Johnny Storm, he's supposed to be smart. Fine,
Yeah. Yep.
fine, but I guess that makes sense why he's on a rocket ship to start
That's
with.
why they're chosen for the mission, right? All of them were
Yeah.
legit qualified to be on the rocket mission.
And by the way, did you notice that they didn't sneak into the rocket and take off? It was more realistic. They were actually assigned to do that.
Oh.
It was completely above board.
The cut of the origin was brilliant. It is brilliant because there's no question of why do they have 4 different sets of powers? What happens to their clothes when they come back to Earth? All these questions are just avoided. It was great.
Yes, I
I
don't have a problem with
really
it.
loved that aspect of it because we're not scratching our heads about, wait, how does that work? How come he can stretch and that guy's permanently rock? Or all those kinds of questions that we had about every other version, including the comics, does not come up in this version. It just gets into it, which is, I loved that choice.
Yeah, we saw a bit of them in space, but we didn't see them discovering their powers, really.
Yeah, yeah.
And I felt like, getting back to the Superman comparison, Superman was funnier, and I really wanted this to be a fun movie that I laughed at a lot. Now, I have to shout out the baby car seat scene. That was funny.
Dear.
Interesting.
I'm sorry. Hard
exact
disagree.
opposite reaction from this side of the room. That was hard work. I think if they had tried once and failed, maybe that would be okay. But it just goes on and on and on. And me and Jordan were sitting there looking at each other in the cinema going, how long is the scene going to go on of these guys trying to get... I know it's difficult to get a baby car into a car. Fine. Maybe try it once and fail, and that's a funny joke. Maybe. But to just go and go and go. These guys are supposed to be geniuses. I guess that's part of the quote-unquote joke. By the way, this movie had 4 story writers and 4 script writers.
Yep.
And was directed by Matt Shackman, who's the guy that directed the WandaVision series. And I guess because of the visuals, that had a kind of retro feel for those early episodes. So they this is the guy to bring in for this. So I think there's kind of a sitcom feel to this joke about trying to get a baby car into the Fantastic Car. I maybe chuckled 2 or 3 times in the movie. There's a moment where it sounds like Herbie the Robot is saying, "What the fuck?" deliberately, which was really funny. But it's just like it's R2D2 bleep bloop, but it really sounds like the way they've controlled the knobs on the robot sounds. It really sounds like he's saying it. I love that bit, but I really hardly laughed, and I did not like the baby car. In fact, the baby car is the last joke of the movie, and it really... Actually, the last joke is maybe the fake Fantastic Four cartoon at the end of the credits, which I quite liked.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. The humor did not.
Yeah, it wasn't nearly as funny as Superman.
No.
No, I think you might be onto something, Kumar, when you pointed out the writing or the writers. So those 8 credits, 4 screenwriting credits, 4 story credits, they were determined through arbitration, as is common,
Oh, geez. Okay.
with the Writers Guild. So there may have been, and even more, who presumably there
Right.
were even more writers perhaps that worked on the script. So it's one of those cases like many cooks. I think probably Superman. I didn't watch Superman, so at some point you guys are going to have to stop talking about Superman because I can't join in on that conversation. But I'm going to guess maybe Superman has stronger writing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. This was pretty.
This film looks good.
It looks good, and I mean, in terms of the basic plot, I think it works. Except for, I mean, the overarching shape of the plot works. I like that we get all this kind of stuff out of the way in a montage at the beginning. There's a lot of cool tributes to the comics in that first 5-minute montage showing the history of the team, recreations of comic covers, villains, that we've heard of. All that kind of stuff is there. And then suddenly, pretty early in the movie, Silver Surfer shows up and is Galactus is coming to eat your planet. Then they've got to get this plot off the ground. They're going to launch a rocket to try to find Galactus. All that stuff works pretty well, I think, for the most part. I think the pregnancy was good. I wish she had been pregnant for the whole movie, because we haven't had that since Fargo. I don't think we've had like a lead actress that was just pregnant for the whole movie. I thought that was kind of a good choice. It was very weird that she gave birth in space in 0G and there was no blood.
PG.
It was a very clean birth. And I was expecting those globules. I wanted some Klingon, like Star Trek 6 blood floating around.
Yep.
And there was none of that. Was this baby a CG baby? When you see his hand, it's very obviously CG.
Yeah.
But what about in the other scenes?
Because it's a real baby, a girl actually.
Sometimes
a lot of the time.
In some scenes, I think it was CG, and sometimes it was real.
Okay.
Yeah, but they had a couple. I forgot to write down what I read, but it's a couple of babies.
Okay.
The one that gets the most screen time is actually a girl, not a boy.
Yeah.
It's a boy character, Franklin.
Yeah. But then the other question I had was, why are we remaking Rise of the Silver Surfer? I mean, not only is it the same Galactus story, the one-sentence summary of this movie is nearly the same as that one, but both films have scenes of Johnny flying into space and grabbing the surfer's board, and both have Sue dying and getting resurrected.
Oh, that was just nuts. That was crazy that they did that again.
You know what, Tim? It's also got the same bad Silver Surfer effects, I would say. The CG. Now, again, same as last time. Jordan liked the Silver Surfer effects last time and this time, and I disliked them last time and this time. To me, they still feel phony. They still look like CG. I mean, for 3 seconds of the T-1000 looks pretty good, but having this full CG character flying around all the time, and anytime she moved or opened her mouth or talked, it just looked like CG to me. It just looked fake, and I didn't like it.
But yeah, I mean, I guess that they chose this story. Maybe Kevin Feige really wanted to do a real Galactus and not a cloud, like in
right. Of course,
that's part of it.
Of course.
Or maybe it was a story that had higher stakes, and they always have to have high stakes. Although one of the reviews I read was in Forbes, reviewed by Eric Kane, and his argument is that if it's always such high stakes, then it kills the suspense because we know the heroes are going to win. Although I would say we always know the heroes are going to win, regardless of what the stakes are.
Yes.
But
I must say it was cool to see Galactus.
Yeah.
He was cool.
Yeah, for sure.
But wasn't it a little bit like, as I mentioned last time or the time before, there was that Jason Pargan thing about how the stakes in all these superhero movies are personal. And Doctor Doom in that Fantastic Four from 2005 was only after the Fantastic Four. He didn't want to take over the world or the city or anything. And here, we've taken Galactus and flipped him, so he's only after Sue's baby. He's not even after the planet. He's just like, I want the hero's baby.
That's right. He never actually threatens. He doesn't do anything to threaten Earth, does he? Aside from his general
No,
threat.
he's threatening like those 3 cities, those 10 city blocks or whatever. So you have to evacuate everyone. But other
That's a
than
good
that, the
point.
rest of the world is kind of okay.
Also, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, it was what a coincidence that he would just happen to land on Manhattan.
That's where the baby was. It's a coincidence that
I guess
he landed in
so.
the bay, and didn't land right where the baby
I
was,
guess
so that he could walk through the city.
the baby
He does
detector
have a
led
baby
him
detector,
there.
He's
which
definitely
they
got a
did
baby
not,
detector.
which they did not know that he had, which is kind of a plot twist in there. Yeah,
But I was
I get.
trying to think if they could have done a different story. That was, I think, another thing that kind of bothered me, because basically the same story as Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Well, they made, Sony or Fox made Dark Phoenix Saga twice, right?
Oh, really? I've
So
hardly seen any of the
they
X-Men
made that they
movies.
made that twice with 2 different casts.
Huh.
So they sometimes these guys' brains just work in a certain way that they're stuck. I guess if you think Fantastic Four, you think of Doctor Doom or Galactus. So maybe they just felt like they had to go one or the other. We've already had like 2 Doctor Doom movies and only one Galactus, so maybe that was the choice. I mean, what other Fantastic Four movie could you do for an opening Fantastic Four movie? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
also now they have to follow Galactus, the World Eater, with Doctor Doom, the
yeah,
guy from Latveria.
yeah. By the way, we talked about how in the comics the Galactus saga was so big in my head, and then reading it, there were kind of flaws in it. But by the time we got to this movie a few months later, it had grown in my brain again to a really epic scale. Like the comics had grown to a massive scale again. When I'm not like reading them and looking at little bits of dialogue and going, that doesn't make sense, or this is anticlimactic, or whatever. So I was kind of ready for it. I did like the size of Galactus. I didn't like the scene where he's talking to Silver Surfer, because that was really
We
obviously
shouldn't.
100% CG shot. There's no humans doing anything.
Okay, yeah, and Galactus shouldn't talk to his minions. Like, he shouldn't be having conversations with them. Galactus is supposed to be on this whole other level. This Galactus talked too much. And also, he had a discomforting tendency to use kind of like vernacular language. He should be talking in big, portentous, godlike tones. Instead, he actually says to them at one point, "I used to be little like you."
Right.
And what, did Galactus just say he used to be little?
Yeah.
What, like a little kid?
Yeah. 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 It took
should have
took 4 writers to work out that line of dialogue.
Little. He should have said small. I mean,
I used to be
little is the wrong word.
I used to be peons like you, or something, or
not-
yeah.
you know what? Yeah, exactly. Little.
I used to be
just-
pathetic underlings like you.
I used to be itty bitty like you.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. I did a double take in the cinema when he said that. I used to be little like you. Wild. Wild. Yeah, and he's a bit underpowered too. I mean, he doesn't really, aside from his baby scanner, he doesn't really do anything except stay puffed Marshmallow Man his way around New York.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what Galactus does, really. I did like all the stuff he had hooked into his back, like when he's eating that planet, and there were all those like cables that were connected to his suit so he could absorb the energy of the planet. I thought that was really cool. I liked that bit. The thing that drove me most crazy, you just reminded me about this conversation, because Galactus and Silver Surfer are speaking English to each other, and they speak English to the Fantastic Four for some reason, so they do speak English. But they've been getting these recordings of another language from outer space early in the movie. This is a major bugbear for me that Jordan knows all about. But they're getting these recordings from space, and finally they can't understand them. It's some alien language, completely alien language. Okay. And then Johnny meets the Silver Surfer, and she says something to him. And a little bit later on, he says, "What did that mean?" And she says, "That line means die with yours or die with your own people or something like that. And he takes that one line,
One sentence.
one sentence.
3 words.
Those words.
Does it even have a verb in it?
It's a die
is the
imperative
verb,
form. But there's no sit down, stand up, planet, occupation, astronomer, nothing else. 3 words. And he goes back and he's able to decode the language. He calls it the Rosetta Stone. He's able to figure out from the recordings, he learns that Silver Surfer was an astronomer on her planet. Her planet was about to be eaten by Galactus. She sacrificed herself to save the planet. That's not how language works. You can't decode an entire language from 3 words like that and figure out what the word for sacrifice is and the word for astronomer. And we were on the beach when Galactus arrived and I begged him to spare my planet. It made me absolutely crazy. It's a bit like how they use the word quantum in movies. Just like, bing, here you go. It's all there for you. But as a translator, that's a personal bugbear when I see it in a movie where they're able to just decode a language from 2 or 3 words. It really...
Yeah, but it's because Johnny's smart in this one. That's his personality. Smart guy.
Yeah.
Except slightly less smart and slightly less mature than the other smart guy, Reed Richards. That's why Johnny kind of feels like a personality-free zone. There's already a smart guy on the team.
Yeah, that's right. So what's his personality role on the team? Yeah. Yeah.
I had so many problems with the science. I don't know, like, obviously we're not, like, I mean, and Kumar, your complaint is essentially a scientific one, or linguistics. So, like, there's just, I don't know if I'm getting old and less patient, or audiences are getting dumber. Because, things just happen. Like, I love how they take off from New York City. I guess you can launch a rocket from New York City, I suppose. I wouldn't in a populated area. And it's also not a good position it's better to be nearer the equator so you can take advantage of the Earth's rotation. But I guess you could launch from New York. They just use chemical rockets for the, nostalgia, I guess, to remind us of the moon launch and things like that were occurring in the 60s. But they have a flying car. Why couldn't they use the flying car technology? Then after they use this one step above fireworks chemical rocket to get into orbit, they plug into an FTL drive.
Yeah.
There's an FTL drive in orbit. How did that get there?
Yeah.
I didn't understand what that was. I guess FTL means faster than light.
That's right. So they dock their ship with it, and it will allow them to go faster than light.
When did they build that? Why is it there? What is it for? It's there just so they can get to Galactus. It's such
that's an issue, is the thing being there. But unlike Jordan, I forgave all the science and the bad science of the movie because I headcanoned it. This is not Earth. It's another universe with different laws of physics.
You can't just change 1 or 2 laws of physics.
They're changing all the laws of physics. They do all sorts of stuff in this movie that's not possible. And I was just like, well, it's not possible in our universe, but maybe it could be possible in that universe.
There would be such a knock-on effect. I'm not engaging with this. Anyway, they go to this other solar system. There's a planet that's being devoured. I guess Reed Richards has some kind of sensor that can sense things at faster than the speed of light. That doesn't explain why Johnny's getting transmissions from other worlds in real, in fewer than millions of years. How are these transmissions getting there? It doesn't matter, whatever. They arrive there, they get tracted into the ship. This is kind of okay because it makes their attempt to go out and fight Galactus. It kind of puts it in perspective. This part's pretty good because he literally has this machine, this planet killer, as big as a moon.
Yeah.
Cool. They get tracted in, then they have their conversation with him. He wants the baby. He induces labor in Sue, which is a bit odd by looking at her.
Right.
Then they flee to the ship and they fly away. They were just tracted into that big ship. Why doesn't Galactus just turn on his tractor beam again? No, it doesn't matter. They flee to a nearby neutron star using their FTL drive, actually, so it doesn't have to be close nearby. Then something slightly clever happens. They trap the Silver Surfer inside, I guess, the event horizon.
Yeah, the gravity well of the.
And because of time dilation, it will take her a long time to get out of there. Enough time for them to get back to Earth. Except in order to bait her into entering the gravity, the range of the neutron star, they sacrifice their FTL drive. Their FTL drive is destroyed by the neutron star.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was. I remember that.
Okay.
And then, well, you're starved. How are you
Right.
getting
How did they
home?
get back to Earth?
They did the Star Trek 3 thing.
Oh, yeah. They Star Trek 4.
Star
where
Trek-
they
Star Trek 4.
slingshot around the. Okay.
That's right, Star Trek 4. They slingshot around the neutron star.
Yeah.
But instead of going back in time, that somehow makes them go faster than light.
Faster than light.
I don't think you can use Newtonian physics to slingshot yourself faster than light. And even if you could, you couldn't aim yourself at your home system. And even if you could, you couldn't slow down. I was just, I couldn't deal with it. Kumar could. It's another universe.
Yeah, exactly. It's a different universe, different laws of physics. They can do these things in that
Really
universe.
different. Yeah.
I wanted to get your reaction to something else that Kane wrote in Forbes. He felt he was comparing Galactus to Thanos, and was like, Thanos they built up over several movies, and Thanos seemed to win, with the snap and everything, and he felt like in this movie Galactus was kind of wasted. The potential was wasted because it's one and then he's out of there.
One and done. Well, he could come back.
He could come back. He's not dead.
Him to there's a problem with the plan. They teleported him to the end of the universe. Maybe does Galactus? Is it absolutely certain that Galactus needs his ship to travel at super light speeds? I mean, the Silver Surfer can do it without a ship.
Who knows?
What if Galactus just?
No, he could edge his way back. It would take billions of years to come back.
Well, if he has a FTL drive, he could just come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like Reed says that Galactus can't be harmed by conventional weaponry, any conventional weaponry they have access to. Then when Galactus arrives on Earth, Galactus is way underpowered in this. Like you said, Tim, Thanos he was really powerful. He had the gauntlet. He was strong. It took all of them fighting together. Galactus just kind of gets pushed around by Sue a bit. And Mr. Fantastic fights him with some kind of pole. Maybe a light pole or a flagpole. What's that pole made of? Because it could penetrate Galactus's armor.
Yeah.
Something which we were told he was impervious. He was impervious to all Earth science, except Mr. Fantastic picked up a pole from the street and was driving it into his armor, and he even used it to open one of those apertures on his back and let all of his goo flow out. And I thought they should have just built a lot of these poles and launched them at him in orbit, and then that would have been the end of that.
This is all true, but I like the final fight. I like the four of them fighting Galactus in the street. I like that Sue is actually really powerful in this version, maybe the most powerful in her ability to push him around.
Yep.
I like the fact that all four were doing something. In every previous version, it seems like a couple of the team members have to sit out the final fight while like Johnny flies around and fights, or something like that. They're not really doing much. So
I feel like it was mostly Sue.
Yeah, but I think they all were in there doing stuff. So I kind of enjoyed this last battle. And I also liked it because I didn't feel like there was a bigger battle coming after it, which often happens in these superhero movies. It's like not the final fight. There's a bigger boss to come. It was straightforward in that respect. And despite what I said about Reed not reaching for toilet paper before, I like the way they use his power in this movie. I was never grossed out by it. And you almost don't notice it. He's reaching around for controls of stuff.
The first time I watched it, afterwards I was thinking, gee, Reed hardly stretched in this movie. And then when I watched it again, I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess he did quite a bit.
It just
but
feels really
it's
natural.
so subtle.
Very organic. Yeah.
And it's not really an action scene so much as in just like, in the lab or something.
Exactly.
It happens a lot, but it's easy to miss somehow. I think the iFanboy reviewers missed it too.
Yeah, everyone looks really good. Everyone using their powers. The flame thing
look really good.
Really good.
And
Reed stretching looks really natural and not creepy and uncanny valley-like.
And the most comics accurate thing we've gotten
It looks
Yes.
he looks fantastic and then he opens his mouth.
Yeah, I wasn't
Moss
crazy.
Backrax.
I didn't quite like the voice. It's not the other movies had better thing voices.
100%. They all did.
Yes,
I
Eben
don't
Moss
understand why he's
Backrack.
just talking with a normal Eben Moss Backrack's normal voice.
I don't know quite why they cast him.
Because he's Jewish. Sorry,
That's part of it, but there's a lot of Jewish actors out there that
of
have more
course.
of a thing voice.
I know why. I have a theory here. I
Okay.
have I got a theory that we can talk about.
Okay.
We might as well jump in because we're not doing a linear plot discussion. This is the TV actors movie and the TV
Right.
directors movie
Right.
because Feige wanted to save money
Yeah.
because like the more recent Marvel films have all hemorrhaged money. So with this film, there was a distinct effort to save money. They certainly haven't saved money on effects because the effects look really good. So where have the savings been made? With the actors
Yeah.
and maybe with the director. Like
Yeah.
Matt Shackman, you said he's best known for WandaVision and for directing. He's done a lot of TV directing,
Yeah. Yeah.
heaps. All four of our stars are television actors.
Well, Pedro Pascal is a big movie star now.
Now he is, yeah. Well, yes, you are. But I mean, kind of like, where did he make his name? Game of Thrones, Mandalorian.
Right. Surely he was expensive, though. I can't.
He was probably the most expensive, but they offered roles in this movie to other actors.
Okay.
When at the start, they wanted. Let me just see. Just give me a minute. They wanted Adam Driver and Emma Stone,
Whoa. Okay. Weird.
and they actually approached them.
Okay.
And both Emma Stone and Adam Driver said no
Okay.
because Marvel wasn't willing to pay their salary.
Right.
They were
Right.
asking for more money than Marvel was willing to pay. Jake Gyllenhaal as well was approached.
Whoa.
He's already
Okay.
appeared as Mysterio.
Mysterio. That would be weird. Although
Maybe.
Eben Moss Backrack was already microchipped in the Punisher TV series.
That's right. Yes, that's right. But he also turned it down because they weren't prepared to pay his salary.
Okay.
So now you've got television actors. You've got like they're from prestige TV shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joseph Quinn was breakout star of Stranger Things. Eben Moss Backrack was in The Bear. That's a very kind of like and he I think he's either been nominated for or won Emmys for his performance on that.
Right. Right.
Obviously, we've already mentioned Pedro Pascal and the actor
Vanessa
that plays
Kirby.
Vanessa Kirby was in The Crown.
The Crown. Right. Yeah.
So these are big television stars, but
Right.
television stars.
Right.
I think that's why.
Yeah. In fact, I didn't know who the guy playing Johnny was until you explained to me that he was from Stranger Things. I was like, "Who's that guy?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, they've done other films like they did Gladiator. I think Pedro Pascal and Joseph Quinn appeared in Gladiator 2 together,
Right.
for example. And even, but when they were both, I think Joseph Quinn actually confided in Pedro Pascal on set, "Oh, look, hey, I've been asked to star in Fantastic Four. Do you think I should do it?" And Pedro Pascal was, "I'm playing Reed Richards." But yes, that's this is I believe this is why. I think Matt Shackman is comfortable with the televisual medium,
Right.
and was comfortable working with actors who were from that.
Right.
It had the added advantage of saving money.
Coming up, some trivia about this movie, our picks for the best and worst FF movies, and more. This podcast is part of the Deconstructing Comics Network, where we're grateful to our supporters on Patreon. Patrons get exclusive extra content. Pledge $2 a month or more and get Batman 66 podcast Bat Bits, where we're discussing correspondence from writer and script editor Lorenzo Semple to producer William Dozier about his concept for Batman 66, and a 1967 TV Guide write-up of Yvonne Craig entering the show as Batgirl. At $4 a month, you also get our monthly show Silver Age Batman, where I'm moving through the book Batman in the 50s issue by issue, discussing each story and sometimes laughing at them, with a rotating second chair of Paul, Emmett, Patrick, or Kumar. Follow our Patreon for free and you can hear the first 2 episodes of both Bat Bits and Silver Age Batman for free. Check it out at patreon.com/deconcomics, and thanks for your support. Alien invasion is an old trope of fiction, especially aliens who attack humans. But what if the aliens are just living their lives, and part of that involves eating humans? Is that different from humans eating cows and pigs? Hitoshi Iwaaki's manga Parasite explores this question, with some horror and comedy along the way. In the second season of Full Manga Alchemists, Patrick and I are discussing the story chapter by chapter. We hope you'll read along and then join us for commentary on one of our favorite manga titles. Plus, occasional episodes on the previous subject of our show, Full Metal Alchemist. Listen every other Monday on your favorite podcast app. Full Manga Alchemists. So I wanted to mention a couple of things that I liked in terms of the retrofuturism. I liked how the big TV screens in Times Square were CRTs. I kind of laughed at that. Also, Johnny's record player. So I have a book that I bought used at a library book sale called 1975 and the Changes to Come. It was published in the early 60s, and it's got all these predictions about the future.
I love books like that.
And on page 110, there is a globe-shaped phonograph. Very similar to what's in the movie. So they must have done their homework on the futurism of the early 60s.
That was a moment I loved, was when they get the transmission from space and Reed records it onto a record on a turntable. That was great. I love that.
I wish there'd been more of that. I wish we'd spent more time in this kooky alternative past.
Yeah. I did have a question about the year. It's another universe, but is it 2025 or is it 1960?
Well, I mean, take this with a grain of salt, but what was the YouTube channel I was watching? They said that it's 1965.
Okay.
It's 4 years after the debut of the Fantastic Four in the comics, and it's the same year that the Galactus trilogy came out.
Okay.
But it's more advanced in some ways, maybe because of the existence of the Fantastic Four. I'm not sure about
that's
that.
What I.
Yes, that's it.
They've done something which the comics never did, which is that Reed has actually advanced the world.
So Reed Richards is not useless.
Yeah.
He's not.
It's a bit like Watchmen, Kumar, like with Dr. Manhattan providing all of those changes to the timeline.
Right. He's not hoarding the technology in this version.
And somehow
he's built
in
big
this
CRTs in Times Square. Sorry, Tim.
Somehow in this version of Earth, white people are giving each other high fives and fist bumps before those things had even been invented.
I saw the fist bump, and I thought, actually, you're right, Tim. I saw it when they do. He fist bumps the robot. Johnny fist bumps the robot, and I thought, people weren't fist bumping one another.
Yeah. One of the videos I watched pointed out that the high five was invented by two baseball players in 1975 or something. Like,
whoa, I didn't know that.
So I don't think that higher technology would cause those things to come up sooner.
Yeah, that's true.
So how did you feel about the casting? Is Pedro Pascal a good Reed?
I thought Pedro Pascal was a pretty good Reed.
I think he's good.
I wish we'd spent more time learning about Reed, because he seemed to have some kind of... He was obviously really smart, but it's struggling in social situations almost, or in emotional, having difficulty with emotional situations. I wish we'd engaged with that a little more instead of his wife just bulldozing him.
What was the runtime of this?
I don't know.
It was just under 2 hours, I think.
Okay.
Oh God, it didn't feel like
pretty short for an MCU movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, an hour, 114 minutes. Okay, so they could have, I mean, normally I wouldn't say add 15 minutes, but really something there could have been added.
I think it's a writing problem.
Right.
That's the only thing I can hang this on.
Yeah.
The writing isn't strong enough in the scenes we get for us to learn enough about the characters and their interests and motivations.
So I think he's good. I think Vanessa Kirby is good, but I think she's not the only actress that could have played this role as it was written. I think there are a lot of actresses that could have done it.
My only problem with Vanessa Kirby was that I didn't buy her as an American. Just her face just screams, "I'm British." Even though I'd never seen her in anything else, I felt weird hearing an American accent come out of her mouth.
Interesting.
Sure. I thought she was pretty good. I thought, this
Yeah,
is one of the
aside
more
from that,
interesting.
I thought she did a good job. But
She got a lot of the kind of the development and the screen time and the agency, which is really I have absolutely no problem with, and I think is great when you consider that for like the first 10 years of the comic, she was making the tea
Yeah.
and doing the dishes.
100%. 100%.
It's absolutely important and overdue. No problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah, I think Eben Moss Backrack was good, but has the wrong voice, as we said. This guy that was playing Johnny, I just had got nothing from him.
He's just a complete personality-free zone.
Yeah.
He's just hot. He's hot right now. This actor, yeah.
The guy that played Mole Man was great.
More, I could have done with more of him.
I loved Herbie.
Yeah, Herbie was so cool. So cool. That was there was some CG there, but he's not wholly CG. They had a puppet.
Yeah, it felt very solid
something
in
made
some
out of
scenes.
wood. I heard.
Yes, a wooden puppet
right.
and a wooden puppet for like blocking and stuff.
Okay.
An animatronic
Okay.
with moving arms and moving head and like layering CG on top of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
So like a threefold approach. It was similar with the Thing actually with Eben Moss Backrack. So he would act in his scenes wearing a mocap suit. And then they would do other takes where he would actually step out, I suppose because it would take him too long to get in and out of his mocap suit. And they would bring in a stand-in wearing a Thing suit. So not an actual, not actually kind of like, not like Michael Chiklis,
Yeah.
but something that had the bulk
Right.
of
Right.
that they could get a sense of where they're meant to be looking and how much space he took up in a scene. And also they had a rock on set, which they named Jennifer, which apparently Matt Shackman had got out of the desert and he said, I want the Thing to look like this rock. Everybody had to go and look at the rock. He said, we went out to the desert and found a rock that looked exactly how we thought the Thing should look. Shackman said, and we filmed it in every single shot that the Thing appears in the movie under every lighting environment.
Right. Okay. Got it.
You've got Backrack in a suit, you've got a person in a Thing costume, and you got a rock. Pretty cool.
I kept expecting them to teleport into the MCU at some stage in the movie because there's all sorts of talk about teleporting.
Yeah, I thought that was what was going to happen. The Earth was going to get teleported into the MCU.
Yeah, I thought it would be a big accident and that would happen, and it never happens in this movie. So they've got to add a half hour to the next Avengers movie to explain how these characters are going to end up there. Right?
Yeah. Yes, they will have to do that.
By the way, teleportation comes back from the 2015 FF.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. Yes, they didn't even have a spaceship in that, did they?
No, that's right. There was no spaceship.
We haven't mentioned that the surfer is Shala Bal, who
That's right.
It is Norin Rad's wife in the comics.
Didn't she become a surfer?
She has been a surfer.
She became
though.
a herald of Galactus at some stage, didn't she?
I guess there's some other version where that happened. Yeah, I was waiting for her to say her husband was Norin Rad, but they didn't do that.
No,
should have. Yeah. Lots of nods to Stan and Jack. And I was especially glad to see all the recognition of Kirby because I think, the movie audiences have not been as familiar with him because he wasn't around to do movie cameos like Stan.
Yeah.
And there's been a tendency, and Stan did nothing to stop this, of crediting Stan with everything, of creating all the characters and everything, and not recognizing Kirby's contribution.
Yeah, I did. I like the quote from Jack at the end. I noticed there was like signs. It was like one. There was a shop front that said Timely Comics on it. In one scene, there's a lot of blink and you miss it kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I miss it all 3 times because I wasn't watching for it. But I guess, I saw it in the YouTube video. There's a shot from inside a building, 2 guys looking out a window, and on the wall you can see some comics pages and a Timely Comics logo.
Right.
But it's probably there for like 5 seconds or something.
Right. I saw it. It was split second. I saw it almost by accident, like the Timely Comics sign. But this thing just popped up in my Facebook feed today. Chris Columbus did an interview. I don't know if we mentioned, but he was going to direct the 2005 version.
Yeah, we did
And
mention that.
we did mention, okay. And he says in this, I guess, recent interview, I basically said some of this conceptual art should feel more like Jack Kirby, the creator of the Fantastic Four, and should feel more like the Silver Age of Marvel. I left that meeting, and on the way back from my house, I got a call from the head of 20th Century Fox saying I was fired and had too much of an opinion.
Whoa.
Yeah. So he was fired for wanting more Jack Kirby and more Silver Age. And, here we are 20 years later.
Well, I did like that we finished with that quote from
Yeah.
Kirby at the end, and also that the name of the universe, Earth 828, is Jack Kirby's birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8th of August. 28th of August, and we're actually recording on the 29th.
Yes, and we saw it on the 27th, so we just decided, day.
Well,
birthday.
we've respectfully seen it on one side of his birthday and recorded on the other and left his one sacred.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we did also, you mentioned the kind of pointless character of Rachel. So her last name is Rosman, which is supposed to be a reference to Roz Kirby, Jack's wife.
Jack Kirby's wife. Yeah, I saw that might be the case.
Okay.
I didn't get a good reference for that though. Yeah.
Did you know? So one video was pointing out a lot of like Easter eggs on movie marquees in the movie, but it didn't mention the one that I kept noticing. There were two different points in the movie where there's a movie marquee that says Subzero Intel. I have no idea what that's supposed to be a reference to.
Okay. It might have something to do with the crew. It might be an in joke, like a production team in joke.
Maybe.
I kind of liked the plan to move the Earth. That felt sufficiently Stanley Jack Kirby-esque nuts.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just move the Earth.
Yeah, to another solar system.
This is going to move it to another solar system. He says, "Don't worry, there's only a 2% margin of error." And I perked up. I thought, well, what? A 2%? 2% of what?
Yeah.
2% of an astronomical unit, the distance of the Earth to the Sun? That's like 3 million kilometers.
Yeah.
The Earth burns up if it gets, 1.5 million kilometers closer to the Sun.
Yeah.
This is a really bad idea. Also, they need to save power for the jump, so everybody turns off their lights for like a month. Meanwhile, Galactus, who can travel faster than light, has arrived in the edge of the solar system and is spending several weeks slowly traveling past Jupiter and Mars. Why is he doing this? Why didn't he just go straight to Earth? Whatever, it doesn't matter. And then so they turn off all their lights to save power. Electricity, unless they have a lot of batteries, you don't save electricity it's continually produced and distributed. You can't save the electricity by turning off your lights.
Jordan's making air quotes. I should mention.
Oh, yes. Then Shalabal arrives and she destroys all the gates all around.
Yeah, she shows up like conveniently to ruin plans just as they're about to be executed. She does it more than once.
Yep, she has plot detecting powers.
Yeah.
So she moves way too quickly, considering she gets in dogfights with Johnny Storm. When they need her to leave a scene, she just rockets away at, kind of like supersonic speeds. So why isn't she always moving at supersonic speeds then? How could Johnny possibly keep up with it?
Yeah, her speed's not consistent. It's not treated consistently.
Oh, that kind of thing really drives me nuts.
Yeah.
I was glad to see her like surfing on something.
Cool.
Like on the lava.
Neat. That was really neat. Yeah.
The actress spent
She was
quite
actually
a bit
like tube surfing.
Yes, that was cool. Instead of just standing there awkwardly.
Yeah.
I really liked that. And the actress actually spent quite a bit of time. She's not a surfer, but she spent quite a lot of time learning how to. Because that's mocap. That's mocap. So she would be positioning herself on a board and doing that.
Right.
Something that was pointed out in a review of Superman that was true in this movie also, that in both movies, the public is evacuated from the dangerous area, which is, it's like unusual. Unusual in superhero movies. Usually we got people running away screaming.
It's a post-Man of Steel thing, isn't it? Because
of Steel... No, Superman was 100% a reaction to Man of Steel. and Batman v Superman, where millions of people are killed, and Superman's like, Lois, let's kiss each other in front of all these
in the wreckage of a million dead people who are dead in collapsed skyscrapers. Yeah, so now we always have to have an evacuation, and I was okay.
And
with
also,
it
I mean, a lot of the MCU stuff was built around the death of civilians, like that whole. Wasn't that a whole plot line about that whole country that got wrecked, and then they're like, we need to bring in the Sokovia Accords or whatever?
Yeah, and so they used that as the Civil War in the comics as the justification for outlawing superheroes.
Well, that's why they called it the DC Murderverse, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So here it's fine. I mean, it gives us an excuse. I guess it's hard to evacuate an entire city block. I don't know. Is it easier to evacuate them vertically than it is to evacuate them horizontally? I don't really care because it meant that we got more Mole Man, and he was cool.
Yeah.
Although I question the safety of being under the ground there, because
not safe.
Well, yeah, we saw the ceiling collapse.
Yeah.
Well, no, I would say that it is safe because he's built a whole civilization underground. Right? There's like a whole country down there. So he's worked it out how to make it so that the world doesn't fall in on his whole nation.
We saw rocks falling from the ceiling as Galactus was walking around.
Yeah, sure, but I think he's got it mostly safe.
This is of course, you're right. Even big as Galactus is, he's not bigger than several kilometers of dirt.
Yeah.
He's only like a couple of 100 meters tall.
Yeah.
You know, Old Man's presumably living. Yeah. I mean, but he's not. He probably doesn't weigh more than a skyscraper.
Right.
So him walking around is not going to make Mole Man's caves collapse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Earth is big; it can support this much weight easily.
Yeah.
What did you make of the bit of Galactus looking at the Statue of Liberty? I thought that he was going to tear it out of the ground, but he didn't. He just looked at it.
Was there a moment in Rise of the Silver Surfer where the Surfer looks at the statue in front of 30 Rockefeller Plaza or something like that? Doesn't he look at a silver statue or something? Am I imagining this?
I don't remember.
Look how puny the Statue of Liberty is compared to Galactus. I think it's just
that might.
But it reminded me of that thing, which I might be making up. I feel like there was a scene where Silver. No. You know what? I'm thinking of the T-1000 looking at a mannequin, a silver mannequin.
Yeah.
Forget about 30
I know the
Rock.
scene you mean. Yeah. No, he just sort of sneers at it, doesn't he? It's like, puny Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. Yeah, just, I don't know, strange little moment.
I'm going to swim in the bay.
Yeah.
So, Jordan, did you have any other, trivia?
Oh, yeah, sure. Just a little bit. The Wikipedia article is quite long, but most of the information on it is coming from, promotional fluff pieces and rumor mongering. So it's a bit short on detail, but you probably know that our Fantastic Four actors from the 1994 movie all had cameos in the movie.
Yeah, right.
More than one cameo, actually. They appear collectively as a group of civilians saying, "Thank you, Fantastic Four."
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Alex Hyde-White, who played Reed, and Rebecca Starb, who played Sue, they are journalists. The journalists narrating our potted history of the Fantastic Four that we get at the start. And the other two, Michael Bailey Smith, who played Ben, and Jay Underwood, who played Johnny, are power plant workers who give Johnny Storm a thumbs up when he does pyrokinesis on the burning power plant. So Johnny Storm has a new power, which he uses at the start of the film and never again, which is to absorb flame.
Yeah, I didn't mind the new power, but it is weird that he didn't use it.
It would be great if he'd used it again later, if it had been like Chekhov's power.
Yeah.
But no, he never used it again.
Yeah.
It was just there so that we could have a cameo. And for the record, that I thought was excellent.
Yeah.
Because those guys were in the memory hole.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And officially they didn't exist, and that movie didn't exist, and they got treated pretty badly, considering it could have been their big break, as we said, because so many people started with Corman and went on to achieve greatness.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see them getting some belated recognition.
Yeah.
All right, so Again, the story of how the film got made, it's not particularly exciting. After Fantastic Four 2016, was it? Or was it
2015.
15?
Yeah.
2015, after that flopped and was panned critically and did poorly. There pretty much any plans for another Fantastic Four film were put on hiatus, were put on the back burner. There's some scuttlebutt that maybe Mark Miller or someone was involved with writing a script, but it wasn't really coming to anything. And then it became a moot point, of course, in 2019 when Disney acquired Fox.
Right.
Yes. So at that point, Fantastic Four is back in the Marvel stable.
Okay,
much
right.
like Deadpool and the X-Men.
Right.
So that paves the way for them to join the MCU. So then we start getting plans to put them in the MCU. And it looks like John Watts, the director of the first three MCU Spider-Man movies, was lined up as the director for a potential Fantastic Four movie. He was attached for a couple of years, but he dropped out in 2022, citing superhero fatigue.
Huh.
I know how you feel, John Watts. Then production was delayed again because of the writers' strike. And as I mentioned, they had trouble casting the film because they were trying to keep costs down.
Right.
Emma Stone, Adam Driver, and Jake Gyllenhaal all turned it down because the salary was not high enough. They approached Pedro Pascal, but he refused to speak to them until the writers' strike was resolved. So solidarity, Pedro Pascal. Then, of course, it just basically got made. Originally, it was supposed to release last year. The release date was pushed back a year.
Okay.
It was released. There we have it.
Okay.
It's an okay movie. I did manage to find a couple of notes from various actors in the film talking about what inspired them or what they were thinking of when they decided to play the role. Pedro Pascal says he was inspired by an octopus.
Okay.
Quote, I guess I'll give it completely away. I thought of the brilliance of an octopus.
Huh.
Not in any literal physical translated way, but I put it in my subconscious. Yeah. That's the biggest character secret reveal that I've given.
I think it is literal. I think he's stretching around like an octopus.
No, apparently he's inspired by the fact that octopi are really smart.
That's true, but I
guess they're smart for cephalopods. They're not really smart compared to a human being, but okay. Pedro Pascal was channeling an octopus.
Okay.
Was it the octopus that predicted World Cup results?
I guess that's what he was thinking of. He was thinking of that octopus. As I hinted at earlier, Joseph Quinn and Kevin Feige decided, although Joseph Quinn liked Chris Evans' iteration and considered that, like one of the definitive versions of the character on screen, they thought that womanizing devil may care guys are maybe not quite as sexy now as they used to be, so they decided to tone down that behavior.
I would suggest to them to watch those two movies, and I think that's a pretty sexy dude.
Yes, he is. Yes, maybe Joseph Quinn just needs to be a bit hotter.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they said this version of Johnny, quote, is less callous with other people's feelings, and hopefully there's a self-awareness about what drives attention-seeking behavior. Okay, that sounds really boring, and it's anyone that's so bland. Yeah, Ralph Ineson, who played Galactus. Apparently, he was on set wearing purple and blue armor.
Whoa!
I couldn't find any pictures of it online.
Okay.
Hopefully those will come out at some point because I really want to see that. They built a Galactus outfit for him to wear on set. He said, how did he get into the headspace of Galactus? He said, it's all about going big. Quote, he's a cosmic force. He's a god of sorts. That meant that he would go and drive through like tunnels and imagine he was driving around inside Galactus's nostrils, his windpipe and trachea. He said, I also went to a lot of tall buildings. We went to a wedding at the top of the Gherkin building in London, and I spent most of the afternoon on top of it, just staring out, ruminating.
Wow.
There's method. You stand on the top of a building and imagine you're Galactus.
Imagine you're Galactus.
I got in trouble with my wife. She was like, you've got to go say hello to the bride and groom at some point. I was like, busy trying to be Galactus, woman.
I love it.
And of course, you may already know this, but we have a cameo of Dr. Doom in the mid-credit sequence. Everyone says that was Robert Downey Jr. in that outfit, in that costume. And we don't see his face.
Yeah.
It's about 2 seconds of footage.
Yeah, I mean, it could be anybody.
Yeah.
But everyone says it was him.
Who's everyone? Okay. I mean, people, associated
with the movie. So they could have been lying, I suppose.
Yeah.
Or perhaps there was a longer sequence where he says something or does something, and they decided not to do that. But that I have no trouble believing it. Of course, you would bring him on.
Well,
For,
I guess that mid
his
credit
contract
scene
probably says.
that mid credit scene was directed by the Russo brothers.
Oh.
And it might be part of a longer scene that we'll see in the next movie.
Right. Okay. Right.
Good.
Yes.
Yes, that makes sense. That makes sense. But
That
it is
does.
kind of funny that Robert Downey Jr., one of the highest paid actors in the world, appeared and didn't show
So
his face for
the
2 seconds.
main villain of the next Avengers movie is going to be a human from another dimension.
Yep. Yep. Because he's from, we now know he's from that. Well,
He's from 828. He's from 828. And
Yes.
we don't know that he's any sort of threat at all. He's just a guy that shows up in your house and plays with your kid.
Plays with your kid. I like how Franklin's favorite book is Origin of Species.
Yeah.
I guess like the writers were trying to think, what's a smart book?
It's a different version in that
It's
universe.
really smart. Yeah, Darwin wrote children's books.
It's a different version in that universe. You don't know what's
what
in
does
that
the cow
text
say?
in universe
What does the
828.
fox say? The origin of species.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm finally on board with this rationale, Kumar. I'm on board with it now.
Yeah.
That's it for trivia, Tim.
Okay. So how would you rate this as an adaptation? Yes or no, Kumar?
Yes, it's the best one so far.
Uh-huh.
Whoa.
Despite everything I've said, this is a decent movie. I mean, it's not bad. I wouldn't watch it again. I don't remember I think the last MCU movie I watched was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse.
Oh, wow.
So that was 5 years ago or 4 years ago.
Something, yeah, it was during the pandemic, I think.
Right. So, I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen an MCU movie. I went in there. I was expecting it to be good based on what I'd heard. It was not as good. But I think it's got all the stuff in it. It's kind of covered all the bases of Galactus Saga and covered like a lot of comics in a 5-minute montage at the beginning. So I did like it as an adaptation. Yeah.
Jordan?
Sorry.
I much less full-throated than Kumar. I would barely rate this as an adaptation. None of the characters really feel like the Fantastic Four.
That's true. That is true.
Galactus, I suppose. Galactus. I love that Galactus is a giant purple man. I'm going to say yay just for that.
Yeah.
I like the retro-futuristic setting. I wish we'd spent more time in it, or come to grips with it a little more.
But you're right about the characters. There's no pranking. Where is the Ben Johnny pranking?
Yeah.
In fact, their interactions, we don't see them interact enough. Mostly they're just kind of squabbling about whether or not whether the good of the many outweighs the good of the one.
Or they're squabbling about the pasta sauce. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can't just have them you can't say, we have family dinner every Sunday. We're a family. It's like, I need more than that. I need more than you announcing that you have dinner every Sunday.
Yeah. I think the look was there. The feel is weak. The feel isn't quite what I wanted. But
maybe I should downgrade.
No. I mean, I'm still voting yay for Galactus's giant purple head.
Then I'm going to stick with my yay.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, and I would say yay also as adaptation. Kind of a weak thumbs up. Because the feel is what was not quite right.
But I suppose I've got a question for you, Tim. What do you think of the 5 films we've seen? What was the best adaptation of the lot?
Yeah.
Look, none of them. They're all missing something.
They're all missing
The problem
something.
is they're all lacking something. So in my mind, this is the best version.
Wow, I'm surprised. For me, this kind of feels like an easy answer. I think 2005 is the best adaptation.
I'm stuck between those two, 2005 and this one.
Yeah.
Because
I really think the
2005 has a better FF feel to it than this one does.
I think the dynamic, the family dynamic, it feels more like the Fantastic Four when they interact.
Oh, you're right. You're actually right. Yeah. I should change my vote. Also, 2005 and 7 had Kerry Washington, and this movie doesn't have Kerry Washington or an Alicia.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That was
Why
Yeah,
fancy
Jessica
getting rid of
Alba.
Alicia?
Yeah, Jessica Alba.
Yes, she did have Jessica Alba. Well, I have a whole list of these questions.
I don't think she's the best Sue, but she was Jessica Alba. So
So, but for the film, like, do we like this film? Is this a yay for the film? 2025.
I would rate it about the same that Paul Hauser rated. I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5. I think it's decent.
yeah, I think that
Yeah.
I'm there too. Yeah.
But I've been craving to go back to the cinema to watch Superman again, and I'm not. This movie has already escaped my mind
Yeah,
for the most part.
yeah. I want to go see Superman. This is a yay until I see Superman, and then I will revise my vote.
Okay.
But I voted as far as voting for these movies. I checked my votes, and the only other movie I voted yay for was 1994. Like I voted nay for 2005, nay for 2007, nay for 2015.
Right. There's a weird nostalgia about even the Roger Corman version.
I really like the
Looking
Roger Corman
back.
version because I mean, I suppose which brings me to my next question. Out of all of these movies, which is your favorite?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I have 2005, I think.
Interesting. Huh. Favorite. I think they're all.
Which do you like the best?
I think if you said, okay, you have to rewatch one, I'm going to rewatch this one.
Right. Yes.
But if you say you don't have to rewatch any Fantastic Four movie, I'm like, great, I'm not going to watch any of them.
I think I'm more
Watch The
likely-
Incredibles.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, good point, Tim. Really
Watch The
good point.
Incredibles. I think
Yeah,
I'm
because
more likely to.
Incredibles has the right feel.
Yes,
100%.
you are 100% right about that. Yeah.
For me, it would be either this one, 2025, I think, or 1994. And I think actually I'm more likely to watch 1994 again
That's true, because that's
than
kooky fun,
any of these other ones
actually.
because
That
of
is,
how crazy it is.
yes, that is agreed. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I
And
mean,
to see
it's a valiant effort, considering
Yes.
the meager budget and the state of
Yes.
special
Oh, yeah.
effects in 1994.
And the story
they did the
behind
best
it.
they could with what they had.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the fact that it's under this mysterious cloud.
Yes, and all these actors don't need boosts from us, like for the other movies, for the other
That's
four
true.
movies. They're
That's
doing
it.
fine.
They're all
Michael B.
doing
Jordan.
fine.
Michael B. Jordan has a career. We don't
Yeah.
need to boost him.
100%.
Those guys from that Roger Corman movie need the boost. So
That's right. It's a
Or
moral
that movie.
imperative to vote for that movie.
yeah.
But then, in that case, well, which was the worst of the five?
2015.
Oh, 15. 15. 100%.
Easily. Worst film and worst FF adaptation.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. Sure. No contest. No contest. What a travesty.
So, who was the best read? We got
Great question.
Alex Hyde White, Ian Griffith, if I'm pronouncing that right, Miles Teller, and
Johan Griffith. It's right.
Griffith, it looks like to me.
Griffith. He's Welsh.
Yeah. Miles Teller or Pedro Pascal.
I think I like Jon. I think he had the look. Well, they all looked the part. I guess that's easy. That's irrelevant, I guess. Yeah, I think I liked him the best anyway.
Yeah, I think I have to go with Alex Hyde White.
Okay.
Wow.
I feel like
Respect,
he
man.
looks the part.
Well, he does. With me, it's probably Owen Griffith as well. But big respect for voting for Alex Hyde White. But what about Sue? Who was the best Sue?
Yeah, that's where
Vanessa
I'm
Kirby.
really stuck.
I'd go for Vanessa Kirby on that one.
Yeah, it was either her or Rebecca Staub.
But it might be just the
Rebecca
part.
Staub is so gorgeous.
Yeah. It might just be the way the part was written. Maybe if any else had played the Vanessa Kirby role, they would have been as good in it. I don't know, but as far as I'm concerned, that was the one.
She was the best written for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
But my heart
because-
belongs to Rebecca Staub
Yeah.
30 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm divided on that. I think, writing wise, this 2025 Sue is the best. But as far as the look and feel of the actor, I kind of want to go with Rebecca.
I love Jessica Alba as well, but I think Rebecca Starr for me. Yeah. All right, but here's an easy one, Tim. Who's the best Ben?
Well, in terms of looks, it's Ebon Moss-Backrack. The CGs, it's the most comics accurate. The voice is my only quibble with this Ben. I didn't like he didn't have like more of this kind of voice.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah,
I like Chickless. I think his heart for the heart of the character. I like Chickless.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I thought this one would be a clean sweep. I mean, whoever was animating Ebon Moss-Backrack gets an award for animating the best thing. But as far as acting's concerned, Michael Chiklis wearing the false teeth and reading his kids' stories so he could get the voice right. Yeah. He didn't even use voice changer. He's just doing it himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. I love that. Michael Chiklis, big respect.
Yeah.
How about Johnny? Jay Underwood, Chris Evans, Michael B. Jordan, or Joseph Quinn?
Evans.
My heart belongs to Chris Evans.
Yeah, Evans.
100% Chris Evans. So much fun.
Unanimous.
In that role, in those bad movies, he was a ton of fun.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, 100%. Now, of course, for Doom, we can't really judge Robert Downey Jr., but Joseph Culp, Julian McMahon, or Roby Cabell?
The first one. Who's the guy?
Joseph Culp?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so, too.
With the hands.
Is not feeling himself today.
Yeah.
I loved him. Wow.
And I think
Roger Corman, Fantastic Four coming in strong in these votes.
Yeah, he looks more accurate, and he's not walking around with his mask off all the time.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes. That's a good point. He actually got disfigured and stayed disfigured.
Yeah.
Okay. So we did it. We got through all 5 Fantastic Four movies.
If there may be a sequel to this, maybe. This film cost at least $200 million.
Wow.
That's present figure. Probably there's marketing costs which aren't even included in that total. Its box office so far.
And 1994 cost $1 million.
Wow.
The box office so far, 491.9 million.
Whoa, okay.
US. So, not quite. Not runaway. These films really need to make like almost $1 billion, don't they? And it's definitely not there. So they're definitely going to appear in Avengers Doomsday, but as for a sequel, we may not be coming back.
Interesting.
Yeah. My prediction is that, we know that they're going to be in those Avengers movies, but I feel like maybe there's not going to be another Fantastic Four movie right away.
If it had been a success, it would have. But they're going to be taken out of this setting, aren't they, and plonked down in our world?
Yeah.
Or in 616.
You know what? It's going to be. That's going to be weird. Like, Tim, did you ever read Avengers versus JLA? Because it's really interesting because the JLA shows up in the Marvel Universe and vice versa. But when the JLA shows up, they're like, why are people here so mean to each other? Why is everything so dirty? Like, they're really shocked by the MCU. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see these people from 1965, alternate universe, clean world with no weapons. Because Sue has
the Future Foundation.
World peace.
That's right. Yeah. She invented world peace.
And all kinds of optimism.
That they're going to show up in this world. It's all this like 9/11 destruction porn kind of stuff going on, and like wars and destruction, and people are horrible to each other. It's going to be really... It's going to be like JLA versus Avengers if they...
well, I'm kind of interested to see it now.
Yeah, it's going to be strange.
Well, maybe we will come back for Doomsday.
Yeah.
See how we go.
Yeah.
Sure.
Any excuse to hang out with you, Tim.
Well, I guess the next MCU movie is Spider-Man next summer.
Okay.
And then Avengers at Christmas next year. So,
Right.
but they're pulling back on the quantity. They need to focus on the quality. So we're not getting 4 or 5 movies a year anymore, which is probably just as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even have time to watch movies I want to watch, let alone movies I don't want to watch.
Okay, that's a good place to stop. I found an article speculating on the meaning of the Subzero Intel movie marquee in this movie. I'll put the link in the show notes. Follow us on Blue Sky at Decon Comics. On Facebook, we have both a page and a group. Those are linked from deconstructingcomics.com, as is our YouTube channel, where our episodes are posted every week as videos of a single image. You can comment on our episodes on YouTube or on our site, or drop us a line at mail@deconstructingcomics.com, or talk to us. Click the Leave a Voicemail link on the left sidebar of our site. Are you making a comic? Send it to us and we'll do a Critiquing Comics episode about it. Our theme is by J.B. Anderton. The music backing the promotion of our Patreon is Change by Jazar. Next week, another episode of Critiquing Comics, where Jason, Adam, and I critique comics submitted by their creators. We've been getting some really good comics of late. Check in next week to see if we keep up our streak. Till then, this is Tim, and thanks for listening to Deconstructing Comics.